Minnesota Vikings have a good problem on their hand as Anthony Harris, the pride of Virginia, has become one of the best safeties in the NFL. But now, in a contract year, the Vikings going to have to shell it out a little bit, a couple of shekels to retain their fifth-year safety, and they better do it damn straight. So let's recap where we are with Harris. So Harris took over the starting job for Sendejo last season, ended up being PFF's third highest graded safety behind only Eddie Jackson, Cheeseburger Eddie Jackson, a recently paid Eddie Jackson of the Bears, as well as Jamal Adams of the Jets. Perhaps you've heard of them. All right. So the Vikings, with Harris being a restricted free agent this year, slapped a second-round tender on him, which we said at the time was stupid because in hindsight, a team could have easily just came in, signed Anthony Harris, and then gave up the 2. But yeah, hindsight's fine. Then Harris. This year, he's tied for the NFL lead with 6 interceptions in the regular season, as well as PFF's second highest graded safety in the NFL, upgraded at a 90.5 grade, only behind Denver's Justin Simmons, who's a stud, pride of BC, and then also slightly ahead of Harrison Smith. Yeah, so the Vikings have the best safety duo in the NFL, bar none. But also, Anthony Harris, not getting the respect from the national media, of course, or the voting public, of course, because he's not a Pro Bowler. And then also, he only got 1 All-Pro vote, which is just a travesty, right? And then we saw in the Saints playoff game, he was a huge catalyst against New Orleans as he caught the Drew Brees gift ball, which was a difficult play, by the way. Like we said he would, like Anthony Harris just being back there, being the ball hawk, and Drew Brees is going to serve one up, and he took advantage. It was a big reason why the Vikings got the win on Sunday. Harris, he is a center fielder of the back end. He is that ball hawk. He is the Willie Mays of the Zimmer Hellfire defense, or, to bring it on home, Kirby Puckett, or Mike Trout adjacent for all the kids, sure. Or really Ken Griffey Jr., because Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day was a bad man, even though he robbed the Twins, Lou Collins. I mean, come on. But Anthony Harris, he's gonna get paid, and deservedly so. Now, as it's been relayed to me, I mean, the Vikings did try and extend Harris before the season, as Spielman, Brzezinski are wont to do, extend your guy a year early, and you've seen it happen over and over with Everson and Linval and Rudy to a degree, Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith for sure, Bar Kendricks, where if the guy signs a year early, you get a little bit of a team discount because you are offering it up a year early. And players are like, hey, I mean, it's a rough and tumble league. You're always one play away. So if you can get this guaranteed money now as opposed to pressing your luck, betting on yourself, a lot of players do that. But Anthony Harris, and they couldn't come to an agreement on a number, even though they tried to extend him on his RFA tender like they did with Thielen the first time around when Thielen got his first big contract. But Harris, he bet on himself, and he won. And now he is in line for top-tier safety money. And that aforementioned Eddie Jackson, he just set the market for the safeties, signing a 4-year, $58.4 million extension with the Bears with $33 guaranteed at $14.6 million per year. Average, it's the highest in the NFL. Also, I think it's the highest number and also in guaranteed money. But yeah, it's like, just like all positions, the leapfrog. The highest paid is the last guy to get paid, right? And I do think Anthony Harris does deserve top end money. Maybe not eclipsing Eddie Jackson, but certainly you're going to be in the conversation of being a top 5 paid safety in the league. Because you look at the current safety contracts, production value. So Kevin Byard in Tennessee signed his extension last offseason, getting $14.1 million a year. Landon Collins now down in Washington, still somehow getting 14. Sure. Earl Thomas at the age of 30 in free agency inked up a massive deal with the Ravens at 13.75, as well as Harrison, who signed his extension a bunch of years ago, and like we said, a year early, so it was a little bit of a discount, is down at 10.25, so that needs to be redone. Give Harrison one last big extension to keep him here in purple for the long haul. So where does Anthony Harris fall? Where does he fit in all this stuff? Now, I mean, the Vikings know his value, but even though he doesn't get the national media love or attention, I don't think that's really important. And also, you look at when the Vikings extended, gave Everson Griffin his first big contract, a lot of the national media were like, why are they doing this? Everson Griffin has one career start. They let Jared Allen walk. Now you're throwing all this money at Everson Griffin. That worked out. Yeah, that worked out because who knows the players better than the actual team? actually in-house. So I think Anthony Harris could go down a similar path. So I do think he will get in that high 12, 13, maybe low 14 million a year range, and deservedly so. But I mean, if they can't agree on a long-term deal, I guess the compromise would be the franchise tag, which has been warped because of recent extensions in recent years. Because the 2019 safety tag was at 12.735 million, and you expect that to go up. Probably will be around 13 million. But if the Vikings can't come to a long-term deal with Anthony Harris, just slap the tag on him and then see how it goes for another year. But if the Vikings do want to extend Anthony Harris long-term for big money, they certainly can do that, even though the 2020 cap situation is not great. Hashtag cap is a myth. They have Anthony the way they did Anthony Barr, where it's essentially a small cap hit in 2019 or the first year, and then just kick it all down, downstream on next year. And this is could be interesting for Anthony Harris because the 2021 CBA, the salary cap could be launching upward, so the Vikings could easily do that. Where I mean, balloon payments are usually not ideal, but it could make it work here. Plus, you have Trey Waynes coming off the books. That's just shy of $10 million against the cap. Xavier Rhodes is certainly going to be gone. Riley Reif is going to be restructured or cut. The cap is going to be going up $10 million bucks with inflation anyway. So it would be doable. And the Vikings certainly need to do that to keep one of the best young pieces on this defense in-house. And I think Anthony Harris has earned it and deserves every single penny that he gets. All right, your thoughts? Anthony Harris extension, let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo, plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.